I think one of the things that baffles me the most about Xbox is, like, the lies are known now, right? Like, we know there's enough evidence there, like, there's enough interviews and talk that we as fans know that they're lying, right? Like, we know that the February thing last year where they're like, it's just 4 games, there's no change in our strategy. We now know that was a complete lie, right? And yet they still try to kind of BS us with some of the stuff they're saying. You have, Sarah Bond saying, oh, well, our fans know, and it's antiquated to have exclusives, etc., etc., and that they know that's a lie, right? Because if that was the case and fans didn't care, then they wouldn't have had to do that emergency podcast in February to kind of belay fears and say it's just 4 games. You wouldn't have had to do that. So they know that people care about exclusives. They know that. That's the reason why they bought studios in the first place. Like, I know it's weird to think about now, but when they bought Bethesda, they're like, this is about exclusives where Game Pass exists. So, I mean, they knew, that people want exclusive games and things like that. So that's the thing that kind of, I think, bugs me the most, obviously. And they continue, the way that they kind of continue to, like, just lie and BS and try to get away with that. I think that's the thing that kind of hurts me the most personally. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm an Xbox fan, and sometimes that can be harder than others. But when you look at the way that they've kind of see how they're doing things, I think there's a better way to kind of go about it. First of all, they kind of just were originally dipping their toes into the water of the exclusivity stuff. The second thing is, just lying, and I've mentioned this numerous times in different videos, but if you would have just been honest and upfront, okay, well, we're going to have to, next gen or hold it off a little bit, because I can't imagine that many of these games are selling well on PlayStation from what we've seen. Like Indiana Jones, Doom, and these other games aren't selling well. Pentiment, Grounded, none of these games are selling well. It's like the only evidence of a game selling well on PlayStation that Microsoft has put out has been Forza Horizon 5. Supposedly that sold a couple million copies, and then Sea of Thieves apparently sold 1 million or something. So, but the other thing is, you have Microsoft that completely lying, like this guy Matt Booty. Like, why does he even have a job? I don't even know. I'm not trying to be a dick or anything, but this guy literally was like, oh, we can outspend Sony, we can kill Sony by outspending them, we can do this. And he's also supposed to be leader of the Xbox game division, and he can't ship out games. He's had to close studios. His games are shipping incomplete. These are all under his watch. So Matt Booty was talking about competition and Xbox, and he's claimed that Microsoft no longer sees other consoles as competition. But it's funny because a few years ago it was that Apple and Google were competition, and now apparently they're no longer competition. The president of Xbox Game Content and Studios discussed gaming division's multi-platform strategy in an interview published to coincide with the news that Xbox's historical flagship franchise Halo is coming to PlayStation for the first time. Commenting on the decision, Matt Booty claimed that consumers, quote, no longer have a strong attachment to the devices they use to play games. We are all seeking to meet people where they are. Our biggest competition is in another console. We are competing more and more with everything from TikTok to movies. In the same interview, Booty briefly commented on the 9,000 company layoffs earlier this year, which saw the cancellation of numerous games and the closure of the initiative. And Booty said layoffs are difficult. They're part of managing our business. Xbox's multi-platform shift comes as Xbox continues to evolve its business in the wake of lower than expected console sales. PS5 is estimated to have outsold the Xbox Series console by more than 2-1, with its continued focus on Game Pass subscription service at the expense of traditional premium game sales. So here's the thing that I would kind of say to this, right? He's saying that, we're not competing with other consoles. So he's saying, okay, well, we're not competing with other consoles, so don't buy, people aren't buying our $600 console, but people bought the competition $600 consoles, so buy our games there, right? Like, this really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And saying, oh, we're competing with time from TikTok. I mean, wasn't gaming always competing with that stuff? I mean, it's just absurdity. at this point, right? It's like super absurd, the way that this has kind of come about, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, this guy's just basically lying and BSing people again, and it's like, for me, the way that I kind of look at how Xbox is being run right now, it's kind of a joke. You've got these guys kind of damage controlling and just not being honest with people. It's like, oh, we're competing with TikTok. Like, people that are playing TikTok or whatever, I mean, those people probably aren't playing hardcore Xbox games anyway. So what are we doing here? I mean, if you want them to play your local games or whatever, then isn't the best way to do that by opening your mobile store that they said that they were going to open numerous times already, right? It's like that what they're saying just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and it's just, as a fan, I'm kind of depressed by all of this stuff. So obviously people can probably tell kind of what's going on and how I feel about this stuff. It's not good, and it's like, I'm gonna enjoy my Xbox and the games and stuff that I bought my Xbox for, and it sucks that there's nothing special about the platform going forward. But it's like, if any Xbox people or any people that work for the companies see this, just stop treating your fans like they're stupid. Stop lying to the fans. At the end of the day, I just feel like it's it's not a right thing to do. You know what I mean? Like, people spent a lot of money, and it's important. This stuff is important. People take it seriously. I know people go, oh, well, why is grown men crying about video games? It's like, grown men cry about a lot of stuff: sports, music, movies, television shows, women, pets. There's a lot of reasons there, so trying to like humiliate people for being upset about this doesn't really work. I've said this numerous times. I feel like Microsoft really has dropped the ball or whatever, but the shift right now comes at a really bad time, in my opinion. I think that Microsoft has done some really bad things to the fans, and clearly this started back with the whole just 4 games things, which was honestly just a lie as well. Looking back at it, when we're kind of seeing where Microsoft came from with this stuff, it's like, and the funny part is there was a lot of people that really believed it, and there's a lot of Xbox influencers right now that were on record then as saying, well, I'll worry when Halo, Gears, and Forza goes to PlayStation. And it's like, they'll still continue to kind of change the line and move the line, even with all this stuff that's happening, even though, like, they've said, okay, Halo for now on is a PlayStation franchise. Like, this was the face of Xbox. This was the thing that differentiated. People loved Halo so much that they would buy an Xbox for this game. Like, if you could, and the problem is, right, the recent Halo games, they weren't good enough to draw people in, and that was a big problem. I mean, there's a reason why people bought the original Xbox. Yeah, it didn't do well in the grand scheme of things, but, the fact that it was able to kind of sell some of these things or whatever, I think is an important factor. And people bought Xbox for Halo. People bought Xbox 360, and Halo 3 was amazing, and Halo Reach. And then, once Bungie kind of left the picture, it wasn't as good anymore. I mean, there were some good aspects about it, but it just wasn't the same. And so when they launched Halo 5, it was obviously a disappointment. And I think the reason why that was kind of a disappointment was they took, for multiple reasons, they tried to do something, take the focus off Chief, and they basically lied through the campaign, like, oh, Chief's on the run, and this, and it was like some kind of little slap fight that he had with Locke, and you had to play as these other characters that you just don't care about. So, I mean, yeah, that's probably why. And then you look at Infinite, and you could tell that wasn't fleshed out, or wasn't how that was supposed to be, and the multiplayer was okay, I guess, but overall, they just haven't done a good job of luring people in. And, and the fact that they got to go back to Halo 1 yet again for another remake of this game kind of shows that. And I understand that the main reason they're doing that is to kind of introduce PlayStation fans to the character and to the series and things like that. But it's just like, in general, to kind of just continue to BS the fans is unfathomable. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm just saying to myself, man, these guys are so full of it, man. Don't sit there and give us all these excuses about, this is why. Just be honest about it. It's like, we know this stuff leaks. We're not stupid. Stop treating your fans like they're stupid. I think that's the biggest thing that I would kind of ask and kind of take away from this, because right now they're treating us that way. They're going to continue to do that as long as they get away with it. You know, they have this group of probably a couple million people that will just do whatever Microsoft tells them to do, and you know, that's unfortunate. So anyway, sadly, let me know what you guys think. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.